Welcome to the second season of the Resilient Tourism Podcast. This time, we've invited world-renowned digital tourism experts to share their views and encourage everyone to participate in the data-driven digital transformation of the travel sector. This podcast is created with the support of the InnoSwiss-funded flagship Resilient Tourism and is produced by EHL Hospitality Business School. Enjoy!
Good morning, everyone. Today, with my colleague Maggie Chen, we have the pleasure to talk to Tess Mattison, CEO and President of the company Zaplox. She has a long experience in hospitality, and she's recently moved into technology for hospitality. Before we start, I need to tell you that Maggie and Tess are two great friends, both extremely passionate about hospitality. So the interview might be somehow unstructured from time to time. However, I was there in the same room and I enjoyed very much attending this conversation. So I hope that you will enjoy it too.
Okay, all right, okay. So Tess, good morning. Can you please introduce yourself and tell us more about your career and what do you do now?
Yeah. So, hi, thank you so much for having me. My name is Tess Mattison. I am the president and CEO of a company named Zaplox. And essentially what we do, we complement hospitality. We're a SaaS company that provides like a middleware so that hotels, casinos, and resorts can offer their guests a digital check-in payment and access to the room, should they want to. But you know, Maggie, I'm born and raised in hospitality. I did everything. My first gig was in the laundry of a Sheraton hotel in Sweden. So my heart and my soul is with hospitality, and I've done 15 years in operations and also in marketing, e-commerce, and brand for both Nordic Choice Hotels, but also Choice Hotels International for the EMEA division. So yeah, come from hospitality and now moving into technology for hospitality.
Exactly. So I'm curious, okay, for you to jump from operation to technology, okay, and there must be a strong reason for you to make a career switch because you were very, very successful in digital marketing, okay. So what inspired you to move into the technology field?
I think two things. The first thing is when I was brand side and commercial roles, like I said, in sales and marketing, I realized how much more I was becoming dependent on good technology to do my job. And I saw the opportunities with technology. And I saw like not only can we be more efficient, but also we can be more innovative and we can offer guests a much better experience if we leverage technology. So that kind of sparked my interest for technology. But you know what triggered me to do the move from brand side and commercial roles to actually a SaaS company and running that. It was that I'd done so much in hospitality that I was no longer the most stupid person in the room. I was the person that my colleagues came to for answers. Maggie, I want to be the one that has all the questions. So I wanted to do something I knew enough about it to understand what was good and how it could be utilized, but I didn't know enough about it to be the person answering all the questions. So the answer to that, why did I do the jump? Because I wanted to do something I didn't know how to do. And that's how I ended up in technology.
This is why I think you are a very inspiring person because even though you put it very nicely, but basically I think you are driven by curiosity, you know, and then I think you also want some new career experience. And that's why you jump to a field that you, as you say, you know some, but you are not an expert at that area, but then you will be able to learn and grow. And this is why inspiring. Yeah,
Thank
for
you.
everybody. Yeah, thank you so much.
But I think you're right. I think that's the important thing because we tend to think that we need to know everything about a job that we're being offered. Mm-hmm. You don't need to know everything about it. You need to know who knows everything about it.
Yes.
And you surround yourself. I have the privilege of working with really, really talented people. They're experts in their fields. I don't need to be a back-end developer to understand what technology can do for my brand, but I need to know who to go to. And I need to surround myself with people that are way smarter than I am and then set the direction for the company and inspire them to take that journey with me.
Excellent. And follow up on your experience. I think your company basically is really about digital transformation. So can you tell us your definition of digital transformation?
So this is the like $100 question. So I think for me, I want to start with the difference between digital transformation and what I've seen a lot, which is digital translation. So the difference to me, if you look at digital translation, that's what we tend to do as brands. We take what we've done in the physical world and we translate it into the digital world. So if you look at marketing, Maggie, you know this as well, or even better than I do. We would do ads in newspapers and then we digitize it and we said, here we do banner ads. That's digital translation. It's not digital transformation. So for me, if you want to transform your company, it needs to be a totally different shift in mindset. Because digital gives you all these opportunities, comes with data, it comes with optimization opportunities, etc., and it comes with that extra bit of service. But if you want to transform your company, it starts not with the technology, but with the people.
I agree with you.
Because it starts with the mind of the people that are going to leverage the technology to transform your business. And that is, to me, the distinction. If you want to transform your business to become a digital company, you need to start with the people that are going to leverage the technology that you're introducing.
I cannot agree with you more, because yesterday I was talking to somebody and then we talked about, like, even though we have new technology, okay, we all remember those days when people used typewriters, right?
Yes.
And now we have much better technology, but people are still using their laptop as typewriter. And that's, I really like what you said, digital translation versus digital transformation. And I think this is what I cannot agree with you more. And I also want to follow up with what you say about mindset. Okay, it's really important. It's like the transformation is really about a mindset. Don't continue to use computers as typewriter. How do we inspire people to start think differently?
Oh, so that goes back to, like, for me, it goes back to behavioral science.
Oh, great.
So we need to take it as, again, like I said, it's not about the technology, it's about the people. And if people are going to change their behavior, the new behavior needs to be so rewarding that they will not go back to the previous behavior. So that's built in our DNA. That's biology. We're built to consume as little energy as possible. That's in our DNA.
Yeah.
And to change our behavior, that's going to cost us. If we're doing one thing for 10 years and then we're going to change, that's going to consume more energy. It's going to cost us more. So the reward needs to be greater than what you have been doing. So when we look at transforming companies and helping people to change behavior, I need to look at the front desk staff or the housekeeping staff and say, like, how can this piece of technology make their life and work life, in this case, easier? How can this piece of technology bring value to them? Because if it does, they will change their behavior. But if it doesn't, they will be your biggest opponent and they will never use the technology you're introducing.
I totally agree with you. And the way you say it is excellent. And then from the academic point of view, we always believe that, there's an old theory, but it's still true. Technology acceptance model. Basically, for people to change, to use a new technology, first, the technology need to be useful. Like you said, you need to make people's life easier. And second, it need to be easy to use. Because if it's too difficult to use, even though it's useful, they are not going to do it. Okay, then people will have intention to use the technology. So this is why, I think you basically provide a really convincing example about how we can introduce new technology into our industry.
If I may add to that, maybe it's not scientific, but it also needs to work. So when we talk about innovation and we talk about introducing new technology, it's never going to work 100%. But if we are going to introduce technology, like say, it's going to be useful, to them, it also needs to work, because if it doesn't, you do not trust the new technology and that's going to revert back. So for me, for example, I love technology, but I'm also maybe got an old soul. I also like the things that I can trust. So when Apple introduced credit cards in wallet, I always had my backup. I added all the credit cards to my iPhone, but I had my plastic card in my pocket just in case because I did not trust the technology to work. It took me, Maggie, 3 years. And I work in technology, but it took me 3 years to trust the Apple Wallet enough to leave my plastic card at home.
Yep.
So I think that's also why we need to look at, okay, when we are being innovative, we need to introduce new technology, but we also need to make sure that it fills the basics and it works. Because if it doesn't, people are going to revert back or use the backup, so to speak.
I agree. I totally agree with you. And while we are on this topic, I'm really curious. Is like, on one hand, we know that we want to use technology to improve the operation efficiency, productivity, especially given the labor shortage in the hospitality industry. But on the other hand, because we are in the hospitality industry, we are always proud of offering hospitality and customer experience. So now I want to ask you is that how do we still provide humanity, hospitality with technology?
So the way I look at it, Maggie, is that I provide a great experience, an outstanding experience to every guest that walks through the door of my hotel. And when I was in operations, that could be, it was a long line and I handed out coffee and candy when there were like hundreds of people in line. They have a big bus and everyone arrived at the same time. I needed to make sure that everyone felt seen and heard, and that I gave them a great experience. When it comes to digital, if we look at the field I'm in, where you can today check in, do your payment, get your room key to your phone, and go straight to your room. Should you want to? The key here is should you want to. We need to offer alternatives to people, like you would do when anyone comes in. You see someone is really stressed out. They've had a long flight. They walk through the door. They come up to the front desk. You do not start explaining all the bells and whistles of your hotel. You say, good evening, ma'am or sir, and you say, can I get your name, please? You take the credit card, you give them the key, you say, you know where to find me. If you have questions, and you send them to the room. The next person comes in and has very positive, rested aura and energy. And this is the first time I'm in, let's say, New York. Can you tell me all about Soho, where I'm staying? You tailor your service to that person. And it's not the same service to these different individuals. And that is the thing with digital self-services. It's not instead of, it's an option too. So the days, Maggie, when I'm stressed out and I'm jet lagged and I've been traveling for 20 hours, I don't want to talk to anyone. I want to go straight to my room. But I might come down tomorrow and say, hi, I have a good night's sleep and now I'm ready to explore the city. Can you help me with recommendations on what to find out? So in essence, we should never look at technology as the replacement of excellent service. This is a new layer of excellent service. And this is personalization at its core, giving people an option to use self-services should they want to.
Excellent. Now, I also want to know from your perspective. So we talk a lot about the customer side. And what about the back of the house employees? Earlier, you mentioned about like if we want to introduce technology, we need to make sure that front desk staff and housekeepers, their work life will be easier.
Yep.
And how do you see digital transformation for the back of house operation?
So I see this twofold. The first is how can we take away tasks that they don't need to conduct? I know when I was in operations, our customer service team spent a lot of time registering points. For the loyalty program that the guests checked in, they checked out, they forgot to present the loyalty number and didn't get their points. So after they stayed, said, I'm missing points, I need to register that. That was not a very fulfilling job for a customer success, for a customer service agent at our hotel. They're like, oh, this is boring. We can use technology to automate that and give them more meaningful tasks. So that's one thing. Mm-hmm. But I think what I've learned when I introduced e-commerce and direct distribution, I started there. And also now that we're doing digital self-services, is we tend to forget that confidence is equally important as fulfilling tasks. And let me elaborate on that, because when we launched the e-commerce platform, I was then with Nordic Choice Hotels, and we said, hey, we need to drive more direct bookings to our website. And this was like 10 years ago, so it's starting to be a while back. But what I forgot, I was leading that project, and in the digital space, we were like rock stars. The site was very well, we focused on conversion, we had a lot of share of business. But I forgot the most important thing: the reservations agents that picked up the phone when a guest couldn't complete their booking on the website. So what they did, they said, oh, I can help you, but I have my own system, the system where I am safe, and I will make the reservation for you. We needed them to help the guest to make the reservation on the site. And for that, I needed to educate them on how do the guests make the reservation on the site? Because they are, just as I was, obsessed with solving the problem and giving that great experience. So I think that's one thing that I learned when I launched the e-commerce program for Nordic Choice. And I see that today as well. So you have a mobile key in your cell phone. You go up, okay, it doesn't work. That happens. It's new technology. They come down to the front desk. What happens is that the front desk agent will say, you know what? I'll give you a plastic card instead. That's not what you want. You choose your mobile key for a reason. You want help to get your mobile key to work. But to get to that, we need to invest in the staff and educate them and make them as confident in issuing a mobile key as they are issuing a plastic key.
I really like a story about what you say about a plastic key, because I can really see that happening in every hotel, right? Because they are so comfortable to do things like they are so good at making plastic key. But what we want is, what do you say? We are going to help them to make the mobile key work, So I think that is a really excellent example. Yeah. So I want to come back to our question. Okay. So because it's so interesting, no?
I know. I talk a lot, Maggie. You know me.
No, this is why it is so nice. Yeah, it's so nice. So I want to ask you is this: can you tell us something unexpected about you that make you proud of?
Oh, I think those are two different things. What makes me really, really proud, I believe, is when I'm given a task that is told to be impossible. I gather my team, we look at it, and we make it happen. That makes me proud. I love to take on a challenge. I think given a challenge is where I excel, and to see my team and my people grow with that task, and the pride when they have defeated the impossible, that makes me really proud. Something that's unexpected. Well, before I had my career in hospitality, I was actually a singer. And for 10 years or so in the 90s, I actually toured Europe, a lot of Scandinavia, but also across Europe with my own band. In front of everything from, I think the smallest audience was 2 people. They didn't even know I was there. But the biggest audience was a little over 30,000 people. So that might be unexpected.
Okay, we want to say that, Emily is a really good investigator. Yeah. So she found your videos. Okay, so we have a singer and you were good. I'm serious.
Thanks,
we can see, and we, what? It's like this. On one hand, we are very happy that you are in the hospitality industry. On the other hand, we also see that, you have the potential to go for the, singing career as well. But, as you, I feel like you are a very special person because you are, in a singing career, and then you decided to go to the hospitality industry. And now you are moving into mobile technology. I think it's very interesting.
Yeah, there's a variety of things I've done. But the interesting part, everyone asks me, why did you stop, your singing career?
Yeah.
And Maggie, I stopped because that was all about me.
Okay.
I was so tired of listening to myself, seeing myself, talking about myself. Because when you're an artist, you are your product and everything is about you. I was so tired of it. So I said, what industry can I work with that has nothing to do with me and everything to do with someone else? And that's why I fell in love with hospitality, because that has everything to do with exceptional service experiences every single time. And that It's not about you. It's all about your guests.
Excellent. Excellent. So can I have your definition of digital transformation in the hospitality sector? Okay. And why does that matter to the hospitality and tourism industry?
I think that in a post-pandemic environment, our industry, the hospitality, the travel sector, but especially the hospitality, needs to look at efficiency in a way different, in a totally different way. I think that when we look at the digital adoption in the society has just escalated through the pandemic, and there is so much technology that we need to leverage to be a sustainable industry going forward. Yes, efficiency. 100% efficiency. We need to help our team members and our staff to make their work life easier, to take away repetitive tasks that they should not conduct so they can focus on providing excellent service. But we also need to understand that digital is here to stay, and that our guests are expecting us to deliver digital services on par with other industries. So if I can use my cell phone when I go to the grocery store, when I fly, or when I go to the doctors, and when I speak to my grandchildren, which I might not have done before the pandemic, I also expect hotels to deliver service through my own asset and to digital services. So I think that's why it's essential for us to stay on par with what the rest of the society is doing when it comes to digital.
I really like your observation because sometimes we only look at our industry. We look at our competitors. But you are right because people are benchmarking our performance against Amazon.
Yeah, of course.
Against Google,
yes.
Right? So then basically, yeah. And so this is a really excellent observation. So how are you contributing to the digital transformation? How do you see the state of digitalization of hotels and tourism in the world?
So how we're contributing, I would say Zaplox is a great example on how we can actually complement hospitality. So what we do, we have a SaaS platform and we say, hey, you can leverage our services. You don't have to build all the integrations to your PMS, to your lock servers, and to your PSP, your payment providers. We have done all those integrations. You use our services to launch digital self-services. As a hotel, you need to make a decision which are our core systems that we should invest in, and there we should build. But what's our system that we should buy? We are on the buying side. So if a hotel, the PMS, as we know, PMS is the heart of the hotel. And that should be like customized for your operations. But a lock and a mobile key, that should just work. That's not a business driver. You're not making more money. It's not essential for you to provide a personalized experience. It just has to work. But it's expected from your customers or your guests. So what we're doing is we're saying, hey, you know what? Even though our technology is very complex, to do integrations with lock servers, that's complex. When I worked in hospitality, I didn't even know where my lock server was. They told me it was in the back office. I didn't know where to find it even. But what we do is that we take care of that for the hotel so they can focus on their core systems. We fill the gray space in their infrastructure so they can still offer that digital guest experience without having to do the integrations, manage, and add resources to the team to offer that to their guests.
May I ask a question because I know you are doing a mobile key, right? For me, I think one barrier is like the traditional hotel doors. They have lots of plastic keys.
Yeah.
So for you, do you need to replace all the doors?
So for Zaplox, we are, I say, agnostic when it comes to lock vendors. So if you look at the big ones in hospitality, you got Assa Abloy, you got Dormakaba, Salto, and Onity. We have built integration to their lock servers, both the on-prem and also the cloud. If you have old locks, let's say 20 years or so, the hardware might not be the right for you to offer mobile keys, let's say. If you have a newer hardware, you can just do a firmware upgrade or a software upgrade and use the same locks. We don't do locks. We're in the software business, but with all our customers, we say, hey, if you want to use mobile keys, let's talk to your lock provider and see if the locks that you have are enabled for this, or if we can give you a good deal to get those upgraded.
Excellent. And now we are going to go back to say, in our resilient tourism project, we care about accelerating the digital transformation, but also the datafication of the travel sector. And I think that the value of data is also very important for your business. So what can data collection and analysis do for hoteliers in particular?
So for me, data is the enabler of great guest experiences. So I would say this: I've worked with a lot of data in my days, from an e-commerce, like digital distribution, e-commerce, all this digital marketing. You can. I used to say, like, online, you can measure breadth. You got so much data. The key is, don't collect data that you're not going to use, and don't use data that's not beneficial to your guest. Because we have become obsessed with data. I need to collect everything. And when everyone tells me, I need this data, I ask them why. What are you going to do with this data? Why do you need it? Do you need it for sake of having it? Or do you have a strategy to activate the data to enhance the guest experience? For example, when you go into, you have you've done your digital check-in, your payment, etc. I haven't spoken to the guest. They have gone past the front desk and they checked into the room. In the app, when I open my door, there's always going to be a positive response. Yes, door opened okay, even if it's a plastic card or if it's a mobile key. When you get that Tess has opened her door successfully, you can send a push notification in the app and say, hey, Tess, see that you checked in. My name is Maggie. I'm working in the front desk. If there's anything you need, feel free to contact me. That's using the data point. Tess had a successful unlock into a experience-enhancing communication. So I think looking at this, and also looking at all the data points that you collect throughout the customer journey, the dreaming, the planning, the booking, and the experiencing. And if you connect the dots, even if it's just one dot in each stage, that's when you can deliver a consistent and personalized experience. What did Maggie search for before she booked? What was her search criteria when she booked? And how's her experience on my property accelerating today? And that's how I believe we should use data.
Okay, so now we want to ask you, even though we have briefly talked about this, but I still want to come back, okay? Really, we really don't care that much to say that, people have to do something for us. We don't mind to do self-service if we can save time, okay, if we are not in the mood, okay? But at the end of the day, how do we keep the humanity in the hospitality industry?
Well, we just invest in humans. It's as simple and as complicated as that. What you guys are doing at EHL makes me really, really proud of being a hotelier for so many years. Because when I started, it was not a very desired line of work to work in hospitality. We need to invest in the people that are passionate about that human experience and that guest experience. And we need to give them a career path. And we need to, make sure that they have the tools they need to excel at what they do. So if we want to have a human connection, we need to invest in the humans that are going to create that connection. Because empowered employees, empowered team members, empowered staff will be proud and will meet our guests with that extra human touch. They will not hide behind computers. They will not hide behind the front desk. They will go out in front of the front desk and meet our guests in the lobby. And that's how we create that human connection.
Excellent. Thank you so much. It speaks to my heart. Thank you very, very much.
That's hospitality for you, Maggie.
Yeah, exactly.
You can take the girl out of hospitality, but not the hospitality out of the girl. That's how it works.
Very good. Excellent. Excellent. All right. So now we want to say that, how do you foresee that digital transformation, data, can contribute to new business models? I mean, we actually already talked about one.
Yeah. I think that it comes back to maybe not data and digital, but it comes back to the brave and the bold people in the industry. And you touched upon it, Maggie, and I know that when I was presenting it in your class, which I'm just really grateful I got the opportunity to do, we talk about look outside your industry and build partnerships outside your industry. And take inspiration from those. Like we talked about content marketing. When I started my first content marketing program, I looked at Airbnb. Yeah, they were competition, but also looked at Absolute Vodka, or I looked at Red Bull. They were content companies first. They inspired me to do content marketing for hotels. And I think we need to be bold enough to look outside our industry for partnerships and new business models. And we also need to dare to try out things without a guarantee that it will work. If we do that, we will the business will come. But we need to be bold enough to expand our horizon when it comes to business opportunities and to new partnerships.
Very good. Very good. Now we are going to talk about another hot topic in the hospitality industry, but not only about hospitality industry, it's about sustainability. So how do you see that digital transformation and sustainability? What do you see the relationship? Do they complement each other or do they contradict each other?
Well, I totally see that they complement each other. And I think that digital transformation, again, not translation, but digital transformation is the foundation of a more sustainable hotel operations. Let me take 2 examples. One is really, really close to my heart, and this is like super easy. Which has the most impact on the environment, the plastic card or the mobile key? Plastic card, given. So if we can get our guests to use mobile keys instead of the plastic card for key, there's an environmental uptick or upside to that. So those things are easy to say. Can we use paper instead of plastic? Can we reuse something instead of reproducing it every time? Those are easy. But also way more efficient ways. So if we look at, for example, procurement, and if we can be more efficient, use data and understand what's our inventory when it comes to everything we buy, if we can coordinate our transports with other hotels in the area or other companies in the area, using digital to look at how we can have more sustainable transports, that climate footprint will decrease drastically. Way more than using mobile keys. But I think to do that, we need to have a more open source technology platform that we can tap into. It needs to be more cost efficient, otherwise you won't give away your data, but also needs to enable you to run your operations in a way more sustainable way.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Excellent. Excellent. So I want to ask you, to conclude, how do you see the travel sector in 2040?
I think it's still here, and I'm optimistic and full of love for this industry, so it will bloom. We are curious. Not only me when I'm changing jobs, we are as individual curious. We want to experience. We want to have, see new places, meet new people. It's in our DNA. What I'm interested in to see how can we get those experiences, if we can, in the metaverse. How can I experience places I cannot afford or don't have the time to visit? I'm really, really curious to see how that expands. I don't have the answer, but there are places I've been longing to go forever and ever. What if I can go in an alternative universe, in the meta universe, experience all of those things? That might trigger me to actually go there in person. But I think when those 2 worlds in 2040, I do hope that those 2 worlds can collide.
I want to follow up with what you just said. A few months ago, we had an inspiring speaker from EPFL, one of the leading technology universities in the world. And he came to give us a talk about technology. He said that technology should enable us to see something we cannot see. So he gave us an example. You want to improve your garden. So normally, of course, we can do is this. Okay, this is the layout, and then we can see that, okay, I plant 4 trees, no problem. But then he is able to see that, okay, so this is what the tree will look like in spring, in summer, in fall, in winter. Okay. And this is what the tree will look like 5 years from now. And then, what kind of shade it will create. So I think it's similar to what you say, what we cannot see. Okay. And some of those are tangible. We want to go to see some popular tourism landmarks, but then there are areas we cannot see. For example, deep in the ocean, what does it look like? Okay. So I really like, when you say that, I thought, okay, that's just similar to what the professor told us. So at the end, we want to ask you, is there anything we forgot to ask or anything else you want to share with us?
No, I think you covered it all, Maggie. You always do. If there's one thing I want to emphasize is, again, that technology, digitization has less to do with technology and more to do with people. So when any hotel company or brand that is trying to run digitization or digital transformation, invest in your people, because it's those people that will leverage the technology, and that's going to make you a digital company in the future.
Excellent. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you. And I want to say that, I really like what you said. So let's just keep the conversation going, and anything we can do for you, okay? Anything, any idea you want to share with us, we are here for you. Okay? So basically, whatever we can do, because it's really the way you say it is excellent. And then we hope sooner or later we find you an opportunity to really ask you to come to our campus to speak to all the students. I think you are very inspiring, and you will be great to our students to see digital transformation and technology, and also an inspiring female leader.
Thank you so much, Maggie. And thank you, Emily, for listening in. This is what happens when you put me and Maggie in a room. We could go on and on for hours.
Thank you for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed it, please spread the word and share it with your colleagues, friends, and family. To make sure you don't miss the latest episodes, subscribe to our channel.